Hey, 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 Bat family! I know everyone's gonna be like freaking out. Welcome back to Bored All the Time. It's me, Scott. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great, Scott. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
Cool.
This is a little weird with me starting us off, but there's several things that I've kind of started with us. So,
And people have made comments of, I'm always the one starting things, and it's not on purpose. It's just
how
we went into.
Yeah, we just went into that kind of rhythm. So yeah, no, I get to start this puppy off. So just to say, so what's been on your table? Let's just go right into it.
Okay, well, let's jump right in. All right, so my table has been a little all over the place. You know all the things that have been going on.
Yeah.
People, if they were waiting for episode 21 to come out, then they understand what's been going on. And, stuff's been happening.
Both houses.
So I have been playing some more of the solo stuff. I'm still starting most mornings off with the Gentle Rain because it's a good, Zen centering game.
It really is.
I've gotten Heat back to the table because I have the new expansion.
Thrilled for you. I can't wait to try it. Because it's tunnels, right?
Tunnel Vision is what it's called, and it's a couple new tracks. Most important thing, the purple car is finally in.
If you need to know, folks, he likes his purple.
Got some more Rolling Realms to the table. I played the worst round of Rolling Realms I think I may have ever played not that long ago. It was a very stressful day, and it showed. Let's just put it that way. And then I've been playing some more Red Rising because Red Rising is excellent. I think it gets underestimated, and admittedly, I did it for a long time too, but it is great at higher player counts. It's also really excellent for solo. Nice. And so as a quick, easy, just bam, throw it down. I can play through a round of it in a half hour. Very little cleanup. I've really enjoyed that. There's one other game I've been playing, but I'm going to be talking about that in Table Shelf and Trade, so we'll get to that one. What about you, man? What's been on your table?
I mean, we've talked a little bit. Of course, I'm currently going through trainings and stuff like that, and stuff was happening with my mom, and so that got delayed, and so I'm just trying to play catch up and get all that stuff done. So got to play a little bit of For Northwood.
Okay, sure.
I pulled that back out just because it's small and it doesn't take up a brain space because I'm staring.
It's a Gentle Rain for you.
It's my Gentle Rain. It really is. Between if I'm wanting to have a nice conversation with my mom while I'm playing a game, I will pull out cartographers because I'm sitting out in our living room and talking with mom. Because if those of you don't know, I take care of my mom. So I'll sit out there and I can very easily just do the things that I need for cartographers while talking with her while she's watching Jeopardy or XY, whatever she's doing. So we introduced this new segment to the show last episode, and we decided, hey, we still have more to talk about it. So we're bringing back the mechanic shop.
Yeah, we got to go pick our car back up.
You always have to go back. So This time we're doing...
It's a recall, you could say.
Oh, jeez, I'm crying Netley. God, I bless, I hate you.
We've only been doing this for over a year at this point.
Know. So. This is hysterical, the fact that we're still doing this. Yeah, so we decided to come back to the mechanic shop, and this time we're talking about trick-taking games.
We have talked an enormous amount of trick-taking in the past. We have mentioned a lot of games. In fact, on recent episodes, we have discussed more of them. Mm-hmm. And for this conversation, at least the games I chose to bring, I am very specifically looking at trick-taking, not ladder climbing or card shedding, which are two things that get grouped in together.
Correct.
And I understand why, but we are very specifically looking at trick-taking for this.
Yes. I have, one of my games has another mechanism that's involved in it.
Sure.
But it's essentially trick-taking.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know what trick-taking is, because we're going to have a discussion on this, and we're going to break down the various terms as we come across them of must lead, must follow, don't follow, all that type of stuff. Scott, what is a trick?
So a trick is a series of actions that are all done in one round. So typically in a trick-taking game, we're dealing with cards, and it's one person will lead the trick for the round. It's first person that plays a card, and everyone following suit or not following suit also playing cards in that round. The person, typically, it's whoever plays the highest card wins the trick. There are, of course, other games where that rule is different, but for the most part, it's typically highest one wins.
And there are variations on how many cards will be played into a trick. There's a whole variety of things.
You want me to start or you want to start?
Well, I think you should start with the one because I mention Euchre all of the times because I played more of it tonight at family dinner.
That's fantastic.
Natalie and I essentially have a friendlier version of the Gilmore Girls Friday family dinner.
Love it.
And then it devolves very quickly during Euchre hour. And so yeah, I play Euchre literally every week. I play hand after hand after hand of it. We played 5 games tonight. Mom and I came out on top 3-2 against Natalie and
Pops.
Grandpa. So Pop is
Pop.
what the boys call him.
Love it.
So I know you brought it
Yeah.
as one of yours, and I think it is a really good place to start because so much of what is there is easily explainable out.
Yeah. So Euchre, obviously we've already started talking about Euchre, and like my history with Euchre was at 4 years old, my grandmother looking at me going, your great aunt is coming down from North Bay, Ontario. You have to learn how to play Euchre if you're going to be a proper member of this family.
I legitimately don't remember when I learned because it's just been, I played it my entire life.
Yeah.
I don't even have memories of playing it. It is just part of who I am.
Yeah. My memory is just of certain events in my life, and I remember and getting like, grandma has the ruler, like, no, you don't lead with a bower, boom, whack, it's just, those were the things. So in Euchre, if you're somehow not from the Midwest and have somehow never played Euchre, I mean, learn.
Which is surprisingly common.
Yes.
But I don't like it.
I don't either.
I think we should correct that.
Yeah. No.
We should say, as a shout out to another channel out there, that is all he talks about. He breaks down every single trick taker out there. He has comparisons, he does reviews. I believe he has helped import trick takers from other countries into America.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Taylor's Trick Taking Table.
Beautiful. Love
Go
the
check him out.
alliteration.
If you like trick taking, or if you want a much better, much more in-depth conversation what we have here, go check that channel out. They are amazing over there.
Yeah. Euchre starts with just a basic deck of cards, but you're only using 9 through ace. So there's 9, 10, jack, king, queen, ace. 6 cards of each suit. So 24 cards. Your goal is to work with your partner to score as many points as possible. Literally, you're just trying to get as many tricks won. And so how that works is you shuffle up the 24 cards, you deal them out to the players. There is a little crib. I mean, it cribs from another game, but we call it the kitty.
We call it the kitty.
Yeah. You flip the top card of the kitty, there will be one of the suits.
So it should be noted that each player is going to get 5 cards.
Yes.
They are dealt very weirdly in Euchre because you do 2 rounds of dealing.
Yes.
And it's
like
come up with a way to split it into 5.
Well, because in our family, it was you deal 3 to your opponent, then 2 to your partner, 3 to your opponent, 2 to your partner, because you give to your opponents more first, and then it's finish the hand. So then 2, 3, 2, 3.
We've done that. We will invert that. We've done everybody gets 3 and then everybody gets 2. We've done where the first 2 people get 3 and then everybody gets 2 and then the last 2 people get 3. Like, there's so many different ways to deal this. But it is a thing with Euchre of it is always 2 rounds of handing out cards.
Yes, and it has to be 2 rounds because outside of that, it's the hand is dead or something like that.
It is something weird like that.
Yeah.
But the kitty is left over of the remaining 4 cards.
Yes. Now, there are also, of course, house rules, which we are not going to get into because house rules can completely muck up things and So we're going to say we've dealt out these cards. The dealer is going to flip the top card of the kitty. A suit is going to be shown, and the first person that gets to decide of what's going to be done with that card is the person to the dealer's left. They're going to look at their hand. Now, mind you, everything's in order, but depending on what is trump, so we're going to just pretend that a club is on the kitty. Clubs are what is the highest rank in all of the game, except for one other card. So this is where it gets weird.
This is Euchre's oddity and what makes it so hard for new people to learn.
Normally you would go 9, 10, jack, queen, king, ace, from low to high for power. But once the trump has been introduced, there are things called bowers, and those are the jacks. The jacks basically become the 2 strongest cards in the game. So if a club is shown, the jack of clubs is what's known as the right bower, and the jack of spades is known as the left bower. And it's also considered a club. So now that lineup is 9, 10, queen, king, ace, the jack of spades, and the jack of clubs. So now you went from 6 cards to having 7 cards in that suit.
And there's a really interesting piece of gameplay once you start getting into the math of it all, is you realize that you're actually shorting one of the suits. Mm-hmm. So spades in this example now only has 5 cards in it. And now it is more likely to play a trump card because there are more cards of that than any other suit.
Play gets passed over to the person on the left. They can choose to have the dealer pick that card up, or they're going to pass it. The person on the left says pick it up. They're giving them a trump, so they automatically have a card that has power.
Which means that if it's a 9 on top, you're going to be very willing to give that away versus a jack. Because if you're giving them the jack, that means you are
the strongest card.
Absolutely saying, I am losing one hand for sure.
Yep. Then if that person turns it down, then it goes to the dealer's partner. If they turn it down, it goes to the person to the dealer's right, and then it goes back to the dealer. Not done yet.
Nope.
The dealer then has to look at them, and they're going to look at their cards and be like, okay, I don't want this. Now, the problem is if they say that I don't want this card, they flip it down, it goes back to the person to the left, and that person to the left can call it. They can call it any suit other than what was on the top of the kitty. So if it was clubs, they could call spades, they could call hearts, they could call diamonds.
Now, there is one other thing about the dealer before we move into the second set of calls here. If the dealer wants to pick up whatever it is, so in this case, if they want to pick up clubs, they have to have at least one other club in their hand. And if it is the jack of spades, because that would become a club, that is allowable, but you must have one to pick up what's there. If anybody else is calling it and giving it to you, that rule does not apply, but if you are picking it up, you must be able to support it with another card.
But yes, so if that card is turned down, it goes back around, and then it's to call suit. Now, depending on who you're playing with, if it goes all the way back around, the dealer can, in normal play, can call it dead, saying it's a redeal, and literally everybody throws back their cards back in, and the deal gets thrown. Things that do happen sometimes is what we call hang the dealer, where the dealer must make a call.
We call it stick the dealer, but yeah.
And so that person has to make a call. And then gameplay literally is, starting with the person to the left, they're going to play a card, and everyone must follow suit. If they're able to.
Euchre is a must-follow game. So whatever is led, you have to follow unless you can't.
Exactly. And if you can't, then that's when you can actually use trump, because you're going to take the trick that way.
Or if you think that your partner has it, then you're going to throw something weak and save your better cards for later.
Exactly. And that's where you get a little bit of strategy. The goal is to get as many tricks as possible. And this is what's fun. If Mark and I are partners, Mark has had me pick up, I'm assuming that Mark also has more trump. We have to then at least get 3 of the 5 tricks, because I'm going to pick up that card. I'm also going to get rid of one of my other cards. So I only still have 5 cards in my hand. Between Mark and I, we have to obtain 3 of the 5 tricks for just 1 point. If we can get all 5, great, we get 2. The problem is our opponents get 3 tricks before we do. We were euchred, and they get 2 points.
Now, there's one other way to score points, and that is if you are able to, on your call, say, I'm going alone. You can do it on the first pass where you have a defined suit, or you can do it on the second pass so long as it gets back to you. And if you believe that you can take all 5 tricks without your partner, so it goes from a 4-player game to a 3-player game, then you're going to score 4 points. It's a big deal. If you blow even 1, then the most you can get is 1 point. And if you lose on a loner hand, if you lose 3 tricks, you're still only going to lose 2. But boy, you made a tactical error trying for that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the game is math. It is what cards were dealt to you. It is how the offsuit plays. It's who has the lead. Like, even though it is the same 24 cards, and I have to believe every single permutation of that deck at this point in my life. And there are moments that feel very scripted of, okay, I led an ace. My wife broke my ace with a trump card because she didn't have my suit, and then she's going to lead out, and there's the right to try to pull everything else in. The game does have moments that can feel very scripted, but they only feel that way once you've played it thousands of millions of billions of times, because you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, and I think that's also what the beauty thing is. The whole idea of working with a partner, that whole cooperative play, also just having a little bit of a strategy, because since there is 24 cards and you're going to get 5 of them, and you're going to only get a chance to see a 6th one when you look at the what's in the kitty, that kind of gives you the idea of what potentially is going to happen in this game. I love playing trick-taking games, especially Euchre, because I know what I'm getting myself into the moment I said, hey, we're going to play Euchre. There's been so many thousands of games that I've played over the course of my life that the big difference is who am I playing with? Yeah. And it's learning how to work with that person.
How aggressive are you? Are you willing to lead a right? Are you... Yeah. How do you play?
Yeah.
Euchre, for being the same 24 cards, how you respond to a play, especially when you're playing offsuit. And offsuit, in case we haven't defined that yet, is just simply whatever was led, you are not following.
Yeah.
That's it. Because one of the interesting things of being the dealer and playing through is trying to short suit yourself. And short suiting is just simply you are running yourself out of one.
Yep.
In Euchre, it's really useful to be short suited or only two suited, so you only have, say, hearts and clubs.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to follow and you give yourself more options to play a trump card or play off, so that way you're not lost. And the way people react to that offsuit play is just weird and wild, and it is super strange how so many people interact so differently with this game.
Oh, my favorite thing is when you do throw a card that's not part of the suit, because then people go, oh, and then all of a sudden you watch as they get more attentive and their eyes widen and they're like, why did you do that?
Because one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is in trick-taking games, and one of the ones we'll talk about later, I'm sure that this will be something we bring up, of you are never allowed to explicitly talk about what's in your hand.
Right.
You can talk about anything else. You can talk about the weather, you can talk about the politics, you can talk about the new Chicago Pope. I don't care.
Right.
You do you, but you cannot tell me what's in your hand.
Nope.
And so a lot of the magic of Euchre and learning the other player is, okay, so 10 of clubs was led and they threw a 9 of diamonds. Why did they throw the 9 of diamonds? And trying to figure that out, because you are never allowed to explicitly say, hey, I had the leftover here. So even though there is somewhat of an ability to math out what should be there, because there's the 4 cards in the kitty and the fact you are not allowed to know what other people are holding, it is a lot of observation and watching what's been played and counting cards to be able to effectively, strategically play Euchre.
Yeah, because I know, like, typically if I'm throwing off, it's because I'm trying to short suit myself. Or going, hey, if you lead a diamond, I have a higher diamond. You know, like, I might have that ace that we're looking for to try to sit there and
you
get
just
that
trumped
offsuit.
the card that I trumped earlier. Why did you do that? Is it because that's all you have left? Was it a misplay?
Yep.
What, were you just showing me where it is?
Yep.
All variety.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much strategy are in 24 cards.
It's
wild.
Now, when you travel around the Midwest, you're going to hear a whole variety of, is it going to be hearts? Is it going to be rook? Is it going to be cribbage? Is it euchre? Is it whatever? It doesn't matter. So let's shift on to our next game.
Yeah.
If that's
so,
okay.
Yeah. What are you going to start us off
So
with?
trick taking has this beauty, and it is really, to steal Mike DeLisio's term, within a renaissance right now, where deck building, especially around like 21, 22, started into this deck building plus something else. We are now getting into trick taking plus something else, or a acknowledgement of this is a game that came before. Let's just twist it so hard that it snaps and it's a new game. So I'm looking at it from the idea of hearts improved. I have always loved hearts. I have played an enormous and frankly offensive amount of hearts as well. It is probably my second most played trick taker behind Euchre, because back in the day when it was online hearts in Windows, you bet, baby, I played it a lot.
Yep.
But one of my problems with hearts has always been it is only 4 players. It must be 4 players. In Euchre, generally speaking, is 4 players. Yes, there's a 3-player version. Then it's bleh. 3-player Euchre, bleh. My problem with hearts is that it is a strict 4-player game. But I love the idea of, here is a trick-taking game where you're playing with a whole deck of cards, and one suit is just poison. And one card in another suit is also super poison.
It is such super poison.
Hearts also is the game where you're going to hear a term called shoot the moon come up a lot. And shooting the moon is very important in a variety of trick-taking games. It doesn't happen in every trick-taking game. There's no way to do it in Euchre, for instance. But in Hearts, you are looking at trying to be the person to score the lowest by the time somebody scores out at 100 points. In that game, every heart that you take is worth 1 point, and the Queen of Spades is worth 13 points. There will always be 26 points handed out in a round. Shooting the moon in that case is saying, I'm going to take all of them. I am going to take all 26 points, which means I instead take no points and everybody else gets 26 points.
I have pulled that off a grand total, I think, 6 times.
I've done it more than that, but like I said, I've played an offensive amount of Hearts.
Yeah.
Hearts is not the game I'm talking about, though.
No, I saw what was on your lap because it's a phenomenal game and it's so new and I love it.
It is one of the few Bezier games I actually enjoy, and this is not the first attempt at reinventing Hearts. The first one that I can really think of, it was a variety of different names. The most recent version of it is called Indulgence by Restoration Games. It was fine, but it fell short. There were a bunch of issues with that. It doesn't matter, because when I saw Rebel Princess come out, this is everything I wanted a Hearts Plus game to be. It uses that same framework of you have a poison suit and there's a poison card sitting in another suit, but every player has an asymmetric player power that you can use once per game,
which is beautiful.
And you are able to play up to 6 players. Or you can play all the way down to 3 players. And that's because the deck of cards has a variety of numbers, and you just change how many cards within the deck you're going to use. The cards in Rebel Princess range from 1 to 12, but what makes this different from regular Hearts of just avoid the hearts, whatever, is there's going to be a set of essentially event cards that at the top of each round, you're going to flip a new event card. That's going to tell you how many cards and which direction you're going to pass, but it's also going to apply some different rule to the round. So like we said about Hearts, it is just strictly score the least amount of points.
Yep.
Do it this way. If you have the bathroom break card in play, for instance, you're going to pass 2 cards to your left, and princes score double except for the person who has the highest score. So yeah, it's a simple little change, but it keeps the game fresh. It keeps it really interesting, and you're going to have this be very different from game to game to game, because there are 26 of these things in the base box, but I really, really like the way this is handled. Thematically, which is something else that is pretty hard for trick takers to pull off, but I have a few of them that I love because I actually managed to be very thematic. And Rebel Princess is one of those. You are princesses from the fairy tales, so you could be Rapunzel, Cinderella, whatever, and they each have their own power. And your goal is just keep all the suitors away from you. You don't want to get married.
You don't want to get married. I think it's a beautiful theme.
The edition from Bezier Games that came out recently is the Deluxe Edition. It's basically just a fancy production of a game that came out a couple of years ago that essentially everybody missed, and then they prettied it up and now everybody sees it. It's great because it has that same structure of Hearts, of you're going to start by passing a couple cards whichever direction the round is saying, and you just want to take as few points as possible. That's it. It's Hearts.
It's Hearts.
But you can play it up to 6 people. You can play it below 4. And that idea of let's take a game that everybody knows, or a certain segment of the country knows, or whatever, and let's twist it and play with it. And Rebel Princess, because it takes everything that's joyous about Hearts, that idea of I'm going to try and short suit myself so that way I can play out all my hearts, or in this case, my suitors. And if I do it right, that means that I can just play low and never take a trick, and I can just avoid taking points. And there's this wonderful moment when you realize, oh no, one person has almost all of them. And as a group, we all have to realize one of us has to take a bullet.
Yep.
So that way we don't all take an entire magazine. Who's going to do it? And then it becomes this tense, Sky, I'm just going to let you do this. Natalie has all the suitors and frogs right now. So, make sure you take one. All right.
Oh, no, sir. I insist you take it as I go one lower than you. Yeah.
It's just joyous. And Rebel Princess, Hearts, Indulgence are a must follow. So whatever is led, you have to follow unless you don't have the card. And you just play until a certain point threshold is met, and lowest points wins.
Love it.
It's great. I am a huge fan of this production. The little player powers are excellent.
So good. So very good.
They're these really nice, thick cardboard tiles, and they're wonderful. This is a great game.
Yeah,
I really, really like this game.
Yeah, I have no notes with that game because, if you haven't figured it out, I'm a bit of a feminist. I love the fact that the idea is you playing one of the princesses. 1, it's princesses. 2, it's I don't want to get married. Keep the boys away from me. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the theme in it being so just joyously feminist. I love it.
Yeah.
I recently read a review of us on Apple that said we're kind of leftist, feminist weirdos or something. I'm like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I have no issues with this.
Yeah.
And,
it was woke. Yeah, it was woke feminist.
Leftist weirdos. Or something. Yeah.
But I like the content.
Hey, I'm glad we found the middle ground, guy.
Yeah, I was like, we talk about all.
But yeah, that idea of, I don't want to get married. Leave me alone. Go chase Pocahontas.
Go talk to her.
Really hilarious. Really fun.
She looks like she needs a friend. Go talk to her.
So yeah, that was my first step on this, and that is just taking a game that's already known and shifting it. So let's move on to your next game.
Yeah, my next game, it's a game that we've talked about plenty of times because the difference in the game, the crew, is the fact that not only can you not talk about what's in your hand, you can't talk. But also,
yeah, we talk. That's
but we talk. It's stupid, but like the idea is that you're not supposed to talk at all. The other part that I really enjoy is that one person is a captain, and the captain, that leadership position rotates, and you have to, depending on the round or whatever, it's going to say we have to delegate so many responsibilities to people. And depending on, you're just going to look at people and going, here, Mark, I'm so sorry. You have got to win a hand with the 3. Don't care how you do it, but you have to win with a 3. And then Natalie, you cannot take a trick because they're up to, I think at one point there's can be up to 4 things going on at the same time.
Yeah, it depends on which version of the game and your difficulty and player count and all kinds of stuff.
And it is a cooperative thing. And there's also a token, which I love that token, the one communication token that you have. You have your 4 suits, 1 through 8, the rockets that are 1 through 4, which always are trumped, they're the highest, which can ruin you.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, oh great, I'm not supposed to take a trick and my captain just gave me, I can't take anything. And I'm sitting here with the 3 rocket, which means I gotta hope someone has the 4 rocket. Because you still have to follow lead. You still have to follow these other rules. The whole idea is you want to obtain so many levels without failure. Yeah. But the nice thing is about it, if you do, you just replay it. But my goodness, I really enjoyed the crew because it is when it's your turn to be the captain and you look at what's getting drawn and what has to happen. Everyone else gets to look at their hand.
Because you can volunteer and be like, yeah, I think I can get this one. And again, this happens in both versions. It just depends on
whether you're doing deep sea or
is you will either be able to just play. And that's the way we always end up playing Mission Deep Sea. We ignore the logbook and we just say, all right, what's the number of tasks of difficulty that we want to flip out? We'll flip those and then we'll look at our hands and choose. Or you can play scenario by scenario,
which is great.
And you're just trying to meet whatever the goal is. But this is one of those games that you just play and then you just keep playing until all of a sudden you're just like, okay, we're done. But you can play the crew for 3 hands or you can play it for an entire game night.
I know we played it once here, and I think we did like 5 hands, and then played it with another group of people, and we played it for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, super easy to do with that game.
And we're still having conversation while we're playing it. The one thing that we failed to talk about was everybody gets a communication token. All the cards that are in your hand are completely secret. The communication token allows you, and I think it definitely is the reason why this game is so good, because I can sit there and I can play a card with my communication token, and let's say, I got the thing where it says I can't take a trick. Well, then I can sit there and play my 3 of rockets and say, this is the only one I have by placing my communication token, put it in the center of the card. Or I can sit there and be like, and then I put it at the top of the card so it lets everybody know that that's my highest card and I have another one at least. Or it put at the bottom of the card and it's my lowest of them. So then it's like, oh no, Scott's not supposed to take any tricks. And this is the lowest of the rockets that he has in his hand. So it means he's also got the 4, which means we're not going to get that goal.
Yeah. And what's nice is that in that case, you just shuffle up and you're good to go.
Yep.
The other nice thing is that when you play your communication token, you actually pick up a proxy card that you just slide in your hand to remember, oh, hey, I've got something on the table.
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice.
Yeah. Beautiful game.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's perfect because it is that whole, now we're taking the trick-taking version, but now it allows me to bring in the cooperative portion and you're learning how to communicate, because you can take the skills that you learned from the crew and pull it back to go play Euchre, because now it's like, oh cool, I've played enough cooperative trick-taking games. I do kind of know how you're probably going to play with me at Euchre.
Mission Deep Sea just took...
It slaps.
Yeah, it took Quest for Planet 9 behind the woodshed, and it hasn't been seen since. But what I love about the crew is that this is the game if somebody comes and says, I don't know how to play a trick-taking game, cool, we're playing the crew. Because, okay, we can't talk about what's in our hand, but you know what? Whatever. We can talk this through for the first couple hands of, okay, you need to win with a pink 7. Let's get you to understand with your hand how you can win with a pink 7. Yep. So there's a lot of really neat opportunities within the crew, especially if you have somebody that's brand new to it. It's such a good game. I love the crew.
Yeah, it's great. What is your next game? So, like, are you doing a build-up? Because I didn't really do, like, the build-up like we did the last time. This has been all, like, these are all this, and then a little bit more.
So, kind of. Because my next game is, I would say, my favorite 3-player trick taker.
Okay.
And you have played this with me. I don't think you've actually played it with me at 3, though.
Okay.
And this is the Bottle Imp.
I wrote it right down. I knew you were going to choose it.
Because the Bottle Imp is so freaking
It's really good.
So, if you don't know, the Bottle Imp is actually a story written by Robert Louis Stevenson, and it is telling the tale of this bottle that has an imp inside of it that will grant you whatever wish that you want. But if you die and you are in possession of the bottle, your soul is damned to hell. So you have to sell the bottle to somebody else for less than what you paid for it. You get to keep everything that was given to you. But if you can't sell it for less than what you paid for it, you're stuck with it. You can't throw it away. You can't destroy it. You can't do anything. This is a curse. And in the Bottle Imp trick-taking game, this is the curse. Because like other trick-takers we talked about, this is a must-follow game. Unlike other ones, this actually only has 3 suits, and there are 35 cards. And the range of the cards is just simply from 1 to 35. And if you have the 1, it is really, really important that you get rid of that card before you're stuck taking the bottle. Because in this game, there are actually only 3 suits, which is really unique to this because most of the time a trick-taking game is going to have 4 suits because trick-taking came off of a regular deck of 52 and there's just traditionalism there, I think. If you have red lead, you must play red if you have it. Otherwise, you are going to want to play the highest card you can so that way you can win the trick because each card has a number of pips on them and that's going to be the number of points you score. If, however, you play less than what is the current cost of the bottle, and the bottle will always start at 19, which is the dead center of the deck. If you play less than that, whatever the cost of the bottle is, then you are going to win the trick and you're going to take the bottle, which means you are now going to lose points because you are going to put cards into a crib at the beginning and you're going to lose those points instead of gaining anything for the tricks you win. And so your goal is to make sure that you sell the bottle to somebody else, because if 2 people play under the bottle price, whoever plays the higher, or rather whoever's closer to the current bottle price is going to win the trick. So that's why if the price is at 19 and you play the 17, I can slip the 1 in there because now my 1's going to lose and I am able to get rid of that card. So there's some really interesting choice of how do I effectively play to get rid of my low cards so that way I am not forced to take the bottle and maximize the points that I take. It's a really, really smart game, and it is that idea of being very tactical with the cards you play, realizing you need some low cards as well as some high cards, and figuring out the right time to play them all. This is a great game for seeing the value of suits, and the fact there's only 3 suits makes it even more interesting to me. Then you add on the fact that the card art itself, if you are following, actually tells the story through the card art. It's gorgeous. It's great. It is a surprisingly thematic little game. And I said it caps out at 35 earlier. I apologize. It caps at 37. So it's 1 to 37. But that's the game. It is this small, smart little game from 1995 or something. There are a couple of more recent printings. The plate one that is the South Korean, it's this tiny little box. It's a beautiful little presentation. It's the exact same as the American printing. This is one of my absolute favorite trick-taking games because of that. How do I adjust? How do I make sure that I'm able to win tricks and get as many points as I can while avoiding holding the bottle at the end of the round? It's fun at different player counts, but I like it best at 3 just because you're going to be seeing the bottle flow around more, and it's a lot harder to just slip past somebody the way you can like a 4-player game.
Yeah, that's a really neat one. It's a great game, and the artwork is fantastic.
All right, so how are you rounding out?
So I chose to round this puppy out with a game where, yes, there are suits, but you technically don't know what the suits are until you play the cards. And I chose Cat in the Box. Yeah, I think it's another one. It's definitely a Trick Player Plus. The game is for 2 to 5. It has a special player board that sits in the middle where you are trying to connect your pieces together, because as you play cards, you get to put stuff on the board, but your cards are all 1 to 9. Your hand is completely black because it's the joke of Schrodinger's cat, but instead of being alive or dead, you just don't know what color the cat is until you play the card. You place the tokens on the board, so like if I'm playing, I can sit there, I was like, this is a green 4. 4. Great. So no one else can play a green 4 because I've already played a green 4. It also means I have my own board where I sit there and have to say that I've played green. There's all these like little nuances. The other part of this game that I really, really enjoy is the fact of the bidding process. Some games don't have that. This one does, where you sit there saying, I'm going to take this many tricks, and if I take this many tricks, I score this many points. If I miss it, there's a detriment.
This is something you and I disagree on pretty solidly.
Yeah.
The only game that I enjoy of I will win this many tricks of bidding out is Skulking, because that one's so weird of how the cards get dealt and everything. But I really, really dislike in a trick-taking game of saying, I am going to win 4 tricks. I don't like. It's one of the reasons I don't like 3-player Euchre, frankly.
Right. But yeah, so the bigger idea is, and the reason why I put this on the list was the whole idea of the bid. Depending on how many players you're going to choose anywhere, I'm going to say I'm going to take 1 trick, I'm going to take 2 tricks, or I'm going to take 3 tricks. What's so crazy is that you have these little tokens that you place in there. You eventually like eliminate colors. None of my cats are ever yellow, which could ultimately throw your game.
Because if at any point you are forced to play a card that has either already been played, so you have a 4 and you need to follow and play a green 4, and you said, I don't have any more green, or something along those lines, then you have created a paradox. The round ends, you lose points. It's a whole big thing.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's how the round ends, and that's how you score points. So, like, you continue to play until that thing happens, and you're training.
Or you magically manage to get every trick played.
Yep. Or which I have never seen happen.
I think I've seen it once, because somebody always paradoxes out.
Typically, there are better versions of the bid, but this is the one that I happen to enjoy because of like that whole paradox thing, because you never know exactly when it's going to happen.
I hate this game.
I understand that.
And it's not even entirely because of the bid. It's something I don't like, but it's actually because I think there's too many things going on in this game. And it is so surprising me that you like it, because a major component, especially of the way the cards are played, because that central board, and I've played the green 4, which means I'm going to try to play the blue 4, which means I'm going to try to play the yellow 4, because I want to build an area majority. I am trying to play area control on this board. If I have these big sets, then I score more points. And there's just so many things to track. And am I getting the bid that I got? Am I controlling the area control? Am I able to stop the other player's bids? Am I going to paradox out? There's so much happening in this game that it takes that joy of watching other players and figuring out how to react. It's why I don't like bid forward trick taking, because it's that extra layer that is making me play in a way I don't like to play. I enjoy it, like I said, in Skulking, because, okay, it's round 3, so there's going to be 3 tricks. How many of the 3 tricks am I going to get? And there's some interesting ideas there. Ghosts of Christmas is really good for this because of the way the time mechanism works there. But yeah, on the whole, I really don't like games that force that, and I really dislike this one because of how much is going on. The crew you are going to teach people, you are not going to sit down with Cat in the Box unless you are a heavy trick taker and a heavy gamer.
There's not a ton of bidding games. It's a hard mechanic,
especially to make it enjoyable.
I'm currently going through. I mean, For Northwood happens to be one.
Oh, yeah, technically, yeah. But For Northwood is just such an anomaly on its own.
What's your last one?
Okay, so my last one is actually an interesting transition off of what you put. I thought you might put Cat in the Box on this list, but I was putting Lunar on regardless.
Oh my god, I love that game.
So Lunar is another partnership trick-taking game where you're either going to be playing 2 players or 4 players. I like it at both. It is better as a 4-player game.
I would agree.
But the trick on Lunar, so to speak, is that each player is going to be dealt 6 cards of a rank and 6 cards of a suit. And so you're going to have 12 cards in hand. You're going to play 12 tricks, and your goal is to actually only win a certain amount, because there is a score tracker that says if I have won too many, then I'm actually going to give my opponents points, and there's some really neat balance that way. And there are other games that do that. The Fox in the Forest is one that comes very much to mind of, okay, I don't want to win all the tricks. I need to win this certain range of tricks. And Lunar does that as well. But that idea of divorcing the rank and the suit into 2 cards
is wild.
And so if I lead, I get to choose, am I leading my rank or am I leading my suit? Because if I'm leading the suit, now I'm setting in play that must follow suit. But if I choose the rank, that means that potentially my opponent gets to choose what the suit is. And at the start of each round, before all the tricks are played, you're going to define what trump is by actually flipping over tokens on the table and saying, okay, it's not going to be this, it's not going to be this, it's not going to be this. And you will have pass some cards to your partner at this point, so you can give a little bit of information back and forth. You're going to find that, and they're just going to play this round of tricks. And that loop of, okay, I'm going to play my really high value card, and I'm really hoping that Scott can make it into the trump card, that he can play off, and we're going to win this trick. Oh crap, we don't need to win this trick, because if we win one more trick, then we're going to fall into that range where we're losing points and giving points to the opponents. It is just brilliant. It is beautiful. It has no theme whatsoever. It's just very pretty art, very pretty production. This, to me, is all plays, hands down, best trick-taking game. And that really says something, because they have a lot of them. This is by far my favorite of theirs.
Yeah, that is an absolutely glorious game. You and I played it the very first day you got it, and it sung with me.
The trick on the game is so interesting, and it is something that you want to play with experienced trick takers, so that way you can get the feel of the table and where are we at positionally on the score track for right now, how many tricks have we taken, but also, can you read your partner? Because again, you're not allowed to tell what's in your hand. If it is wolves that are the trump suit, I'm hoping that my opponent doesn't have a bunch of wolves unless I am going to try and force them to win everything, so that way I steal a bunch of points from it. There's so many interesting choices. This is one that you don't need to have the gaming background of Cat in the Box, but you do need to have a very heavy, explicit trick-taking knowledge. If you have just learned around the crew, I am not putting Lunar in front of you.
No.
But this is one of those games that really illustrates that idea of how variable and how interesting trick-taking games can be.
Yeah, like you said, that whole divorce of suit and rank, wild. Absolutely wild.
Well, I think we can say that we have taken this car through the tune-up.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's drive this puppy out of here.
All right.
Hey Bat Family, Scott here. Join me and my friends for a weekly live play tabletop storytelling game on Theater Geeks Twitch channel. Check out www.twitch.tv/theatergeeks on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh no, it's that time again.
It's that time. Why did I play that? Perfect. So this week was my turn to throw you back in.
Yep.
And we've had some real successes through this.
Yeah.
I think Ethnos was one of those, like, bang, really high star. You really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think you came out of Nexus Ops significantly lower.
Oh, very much so.
Nexus Ops is originally from 2005. There was a second edition released in 2012, and then Renegade did the new print, new third edition in 2024. Nexus Ops is a game by Charlie Catino. I honestly don't know that he's ever released anything else. And this is, to me, a definitional beer and pretzels. Sit there, chuck some dice, have a good time. It's really hard to get mad at your friends at this game because it is a super fast dudes on a map game. In Nexus Ops, you have landed on a planet and you are trying to just control and get resources and stuff. What makes Nexus Ops so glorious, and I guess I'm going to steal a phrase from somebody else again, but when Quinn's reviewed Twilight Imperium on Shut Up and Sit Down, he used this phrase where he said there is this intelligence to the game where all this stuff is happening, and then you get to combat, the intelligence just falls off a cliff, and you're just rolling dice and seeing what happens. And that is Nexus Ops as a game.
Yeah, pretty
frankly.
much.
So it is a very, very fast game where on your turn, you are going to buy some troops. And the only restriction on what you can buy is, do you have the money for it? In this game, it's called Rubium. But so long as you have the space bucks, you can buy the dudes. Doesn't matter. You are then going to deploy those out, maybe play some cards. You're going to move your dudes. You're going to potentially reveal a token if there's still one to be revealed. You're going to fight. You're going to get your resources for the next turn. And then you're going to draw some cards. And on your turn, you are just trying to control the board as best as you can. Because if you are in strict control, if there is nobody else in your space, space and you have a unit that can mine. That's how you get money during the mining phase. But otherwise, it is move your dudes. They can all move 1 hex, and there are some exceptions to that, but you're going to move your dudes, probably walk into somebody else's space. You're going to roll some d6, and whoever survives, great, you control the space. If both players still have units survive, then great, it's a contested space. Nobody owns it. To me, this is perfect for what it does.
Okay.
Because it is fast, it's light, there's strategy, but there's enough going on, there's enough randomness with the dice and all the other things that it really truly is a game that is very hard for me to be mad at, because dice are dice and fortunes turn as fast as they do, and the game is 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not long. You have the 3rd edition, which I think is at this point the definitional version of the game. It has the variant rules in there from 2nd edition. It improves on the production from the prior ones. It gives you finally the big, cool, awesome monolith piece in the center, so it feels like you're controlling the center of the board. Whole bunch of stuff going on here. But the teach is 5-10 minutes, and you play for, like I said, 30-45 minutes. You can put in a bunch of variant rules. You can switch your player board over and play with the alternate units, but you just chuck some dice and fight some dudes.
Yep.
It is very much of the 2005 era.
Yes, very much so.
I adore this game. I have always adored this game. I have some issues with it, but this has always been a strong 9 for me. I will say, I think this past play with the group we played, and we played 4 players, because the game does benefit from a higher player counts. It doesn't scale super well. May have been the worst received single play session of this I've ever played.
Really?
None of you guys were a big fan of it. I was very disappointed.
I did enjoy the fact that the teach was short. My other favorite thing about this game was the fact that the pieces are UV reactive and they glow, and that's where she lies. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it was a quick game. It wasn't too long, but I was doing poorly. Like, the things I kept getting the same stuff. Like, there was no variation. I knew going into it with you and Jake playing, I was going to lose, because you guys just do better in this style of game than I do. I mean, and I kept an open mind, but I was just like, I knew how this was going to go, especially when I watched the first couple turns going on, and it went exactly how I expected it to. And I don't like being able to predict that type of stuff.
That's fair.
And so there's nothing for me to be like, yeah, it's a 4. I'll give it a 4. Because, I mean, it's a good game. Like, I can tell it's a good game. Like, this is, if you want to do a Risk-esque game and not play Risk, this is a fine. It didn't take up that much table space. The fact that the teach was nice. The fact that there isn't a ton to, like, try to hold on to. Great. Like, there wasn't a ton of management that you really needed to do, other than, like, oops, I kept forgetting to claim my cards at the end and getting my energy so I could buy stuff, because you're supposed to do it before you're done. I kept forgetting to, but outside of that,
Yep. It was one of those, I had a feeling you weren't going to like.
Yeah.
What I have introduced you to with a lot of the area control games are not a lot of direct fighty dudes, punch.
Right.
And this was very much that.
Fighty dudes, punch, yes.
This is a war game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a very super light war game.
It's a light war game, yes.
But it's a dudes on a map, dice chucking, beer and pretzels game.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe you would be able to get into it because it is so light. It is hard to be mad at other people. And yes, you're somewhat subject to the whims of your cards, but because you can use those as currency, there's enough little things here and there that I thought maybe you might like this one. But like I said, I don't own that many direct just dudes on a map, fighty, punchy games. Right. And this one is so nice for me because I could just throw it out, be done with it.
Yeah, I think it's a great one of those games to train a person on. Mm-hmm. If they like that type of area control. Like, this is very simple, this is very chilled, this is very relaxed. But yeah, it just wasn't my bread and butter, because I guess there wasn't enough other things to keep me, because it's like, yeah, it's hard to get mad. Yeah, but then, like, when Jake jumped over and, like, completely took my one space, yeah, I was mad, because I'm like, cool, I wish I could have had that card. Mm-hmm. How in the world did, like, that one random card? And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Great. You just made my bad situation worse. Great.
That's 2005 design.
And that's 2005 design. And that's the big thing. And so, so that's why, your Nexus ops can stay an optical illusion.
Now, that said, one of the things that we are kicking around is doing this segment where we're calling it the new gamer journey.
Yeah.
Of you start at one game, you end at another game. How do you get a person to play very heavy game in 3 games? Yeah,
this is definitely could be on the list for that type of stuff.
And Eric mentioned this after we finished playing. He's like, I would use this to help teach a lot of the various bits of Twilight Imperium.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
an absolute, because it does have that stupid dice rolling.
Yep.
It is positional. It's using cards. It's scoring points. Very different games. But he said, I'm like, yeah, this is perfect game to use if you're trying to teach to Twilight Imperium.
Yes, very much so. And I completely agree. That's why it's definitely on that 4 spectrum. Because, yeah, it is. It's absolutely perfect. If I wasn't already playing Twilight Imperium and I wanted to start playing Twilight Imperium, yes, this is the one to start off in.
Well,
sorry.
Okay.
I mean,
this is the result I expect.
Right. But I'm not slamming it. It's not like those other ones I accidentally just kind of like ran it over with a mulcher. This one I'm like, no, this is a good game. It's just definitely not mine.
Cool. All right, so Table Shelf and Trade, we have brought only 2 games each because we know on Mechanic Shop episodes we're running long. So go ahead and kick us off. What you got?
Yeah, so I'm just going to start off right off the bat. Both of mine are tables because I wanted to keep it nice. I think both of these are perfect games to have on the table, and I like them for 2 totally different reasons. The first one comes from 2015 from Yellow. I have always loved this cooperative game, and I don't know why. Like, it's really like one of those I'm like, I don't know why I like this so much, but the Big Book of Madness has always done it for me.
Never played it.
Yeah, so Big Book of Madness is one of these fun little games where you literally are students at a school. Everybody has asymmetric powers. Everybody has an asymmetric deck that has the elements in it, and you are trying to defeat monsters that are coming out of a book. You literally have like a little book. You have a stack of cards, and you flip a page, and there's the monster. And depending on what is on the opposite side, determines what you need to collect to be able to pull this off. And you're playing your cards out to be able to have spells so that you use those spells to do things, and you have spells that are able to be bought. You buy those. Like, it's very much cooperative. It can be competitive. I prefer in the cooperative sense because it's like, hey, can I buy this blue spell because I'm a little lacking on the blue side? Your spell book, your personal spell book, can only have so many spells in it. So it's like, okay, I'm going to pull out this level 1 spell to slot in this level 2 spell, but then like also it's harder to get the stuff that you need to be able to cast that level 2 spell. So like you have to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get these 3 water energies. I'm going to put 2 on my spell, and then I'm going to use this one to be able to cast it against this monster. And each monster is different enough that even though as many times as I've played it, it's just one of these fun things. You're trying to get to the end of the book, and of course the end monster is just ridiculous of what you need to do, and it's just a bunch of fun. And there's enough variation.
There's a bunch of expansions for this, right?
There is. I know of one. I believe there might be a second one, but it's like it's the nth spell or something like that.
Okay. Because I can see the box art in my mind. Yeah. It's a very cute looking game, which is weird based on the theme.
Because it's like these high school students in 4 different colors, because everybody is, you're either fire or you're earth or you're water or you're air. And then there's like all this like eldritch horror stuff around you, because there's weird stuff coming out of the book.
Very 2015 Yellow.
Very 2015 Yellow of it being cutesy while still being horrific. I've just really dug it. Because like also the other thing is that, hey, great, you guys defeated the monster. You get to increase your stuff. So you're like also trying to upgrade your elements. So it's like, okay, great, my fire card no longer just gives me 1, now it gives me 2. It's just fun and silly. It's the reason why, I mean, I still own it, but it's like in the back of the shelf. But I need to bring it out every once in a while because it's just one of those nice fun games. I looked at it on my list. I'm like, okay, it's too high on my list. It's got too high of a score because I haven't played it in a while, but it definitely deserves to still be on my list.
Nice.
What's your first one?
So you came in with 2 tables.
Yeah.
I've come in with 2 games I rate perfect 10s.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. It has been a long week. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to celebrate things.
Yeah, I get that.
And they're very different games. They're very different 10s. The one is one that I will be playing endlessly and forever, and I love it. And the other one is probably on its way out of my collection.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's a 10. That's cool.
I know, right? It's super weird, but hey, welcome to the game. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I picked up and I am just obsessed with. So I saw the Dice Tower review of Ravel, Ravel. It is an acronym. It's silly and stupid and whatever. But it is from Impatience Games, and it is in their new Minpy line. There's a few different games like this that they have released recently, but this is the first one I've played. And when I saw the review for this, I was able to understand how the game played just from passively watching video. And I sat there, I'm like, ooh, I think I'm gonna like this. And so I finally managed to find a copy of it. It is terribly inexpensive. It's just a stack of cards, it's some dice and some cardboard chits. It is absolutely incredible. This game works perfectly to how my brain brains, because you have a stack of 16 cards that you are going to divide into 4 piles, and you're going to put it orthogonal to this grid in the center that has 8 dice. And each card is going to be specifically referencing the 3 dice touching it, which means that the corner dice are going to be used for multiple cards, and the center dice are only going to be used for that one particular card. And your goal is just simply clear all the cards before you run out of tokens and you can't take one of the actions. It is so straightforward. Manipulate the dice, because on your turn, you're either going to spend 1 token and you're going to swap the position of 2 dice that are adjacent to each other, or you're going to spend 2 of your tokens and you're going to just set a die to any value. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And then once you have the condition on a card met, then you are able to clear it out and then get a reward, which could be switch the position of 2 dice, rotate the grid. You could shuffle up all the rest of the cards and redeal them out, whatever. It is phenomenal. It plays in 5 to 10 minutes per game, which means that I played it 8 times in a row, because this is just what I do with this game now.
Yeah.
And you can modulate the game so very much, because if you're playing with just one set of the cards, because there is a standard set of cards and there's an advanced set of cards, if you're playing with an entirety of one set, then you can start operating on that perfect knowledge of, okay, so I know this card isn't out yet. I know it's coming up. I need to figure that out. I need to plan for that, etc., etc. You can swap one card out, and now you've broken your perfect information. You can play with a half set of standard and advanced. You can change how many tokens that you have at the start of the game. Standard difficulty is 8. You can make it easier and go up to 12. You can go all the way down, technically to 0, but you won't win.
Don't do that.
I don't think you could realistically play with less than 4. It's just incredible. Just based on the way the cards come out and the way the dice are rolled, do you want it to be something that you can perfect information math out? Great, you can play it that way. Do you want it to be chaos of, I don't know what's coming up and I better try to plan for this? Do I want simple things? Do I want complicated? It is just, I haven't had a reaction like this probably since Amun-Re of, okay, I'm doing this again. Let's do this again. Oh my God, let's do this again. This actually may have replaced Onirim for me as my favorite solo game.
That's saying a lot.
It says a lot for me, because it is simple rules. It's quick. It takes almost no table space.
Oh yeah, the table space is incredibly small.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
I love this game. It is a stupid name. The theme is technically, I don't know, it's something, whatever. The theme is pointless.
Yeah, rare artifact, vertiginous, enigmatic, logical.
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's dice and cards, and it's incredible.
You were like, I gotta go take care of this thing upstairs. You played this. And I played one round in front of you, and then you went upstairs, and then I said, I was like, I'm gonna sub out 3 cards. And I did it random, and then shuffled them all together and went, keep it at standard, just keep my 8 tokens. And I still had 5 tokens left, and I just happened to get very lucky with my very last round, because I was literally able to clear out everything. 4 cards, bam, 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 bam. But yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm like, boy, I hope my local game store gets it soon, because I don't have to drive down to Indianapolis to get it, but I will.
And it's like $15.
Yeah, that's great.
It's so good. So there's 2 questions that I had, and they were both answered on the forums. And that is, one of the cards reads as, in the rulebook, it says you have to create a street. It's a straight. You just have to make it where it's a 3, 4, and 5 together. On the standard card, they can be in any orientation. On the advanced card, they just have to be adjacent. They have to be ascending or descending.
Nice.
And then the other one is, I'm surprised they didn't mention this in the rulebook, because any game with dice like this should mention the ones do not loop to the 6s, and the 6s do not loop to the 1s.
Okay.
Other than that, everything is explainable. There doesn't need to be a player aid, because the rulebook is so small, and if you need a question, just boop, right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there. Rulebook's incredible. Production's great. I love it. It's 10.
Yeah, what I was really surprised was how quickly I was able to get the answer for the advanced card. And I was like, oh, I don't understand what this means. And so I looked at it and I went, okay, well, there's the 9. Where's the 9 advanced? So you read everything in the 9, and then all of a sudden, there's the A at the end of the explanation of the 9.
Yep.
You're like, oh, cool. This is what the advanced means. To not have a separate list, they just tagged it along at the end. Because a lot of the cards, it's like, okay, cool. You beat the basic, you get 2 of your chips back. The advanced, you get 3. Ta-da! Beautiful.
Yeah, it's glorious. I cannot believe how much I really, really like this game.
Yeah, that was a great game.
A Gentle Rain is still my go-to zen out, just play, and I don't care.
That's a zone out. That's I need my brain to work. Gee, I've had just a really rough day, and I just want to play something that's nice, calm, and easygoing, and I don't really care if I do well, but gosh, I really hope I do. A Gentle Rain. Oh my God, I want to think, and I need my brain to activate. Rabble.
And what scale do I want it to activate on?
Yeah.
There's the option.
All even? Yeah. My word.
It's incredible.
That's
Anyways,
fantastic.
what would you give it? I mean, you've only played it a couple times now.
That's an absolute 10.
Woo!
Oh, like seriously, if I didn't have plans tomorrow, I would be driving to Indianapolis straight up to go to the Game Preserve and go buy one because
All right, what's your other one, man?
I kind of stuck with games that I had on my list that was in my past, and I was like, does this still have a spot in my space? And this one is kind of teetering on that. I could lose it and not be really, really hard because I haven't played it in a really long time, but I still really enjoyed it while I was playing it, even though I can't say I was playing it right. I hate to say it like that because Catalyst Games' version of Dragonfire was very challenging. This came out in 2017. It was basically you were in Waterdeep. Like they had a whole bunch of expansion packs.
Okay, yeah. So this is a reimplementation of a game called Shadowrun Crossfire.
Okay.
And that one had a lot of issues, mostly because of the way the experience was gained and how progression in that was so miserably slow.
I think this has some of the similar problems because I liked it, but I still didn't play enough because, of course, I was playing solo, which, I mean, I'm thankful that it had a solo mode, but the cards are beautiful, and it's, as a D&D nerd, I did enjoy it, so I still have it, but I haven't played much of it, in all honesty. So that's why it's out of 5, because I'm just like, I need to play some more to see if I really do enjoy it. So it still is a table because it's still holding enough interest to be a table.
And that goes a long way when you're rating like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, so 2017 was my first Gen Con.
Okay.
And one of the guys on the AEG team with me bought Dragonfire. That's why I'm sitting there thinking...
That's when I bought it. I bought it at Gen Con that year.
It's crazy to me that Crossfire, the Shadowrun version, was 2014.
Yeah.
It's that old, but hey, we're old now. Yeah, I remember hearing a lot of people liking that one more, but it was also one of those games that it came out and it just like vanished.
I still see it in stores, and I don't know if it's still in stores because they just didn't sell enough copies of it, or if it did sell and now it's not currently selling. I've got the majority of it. Like I went balls to the wall and bought all of it.
Because it's a co-op deck building campaign legacy-ish thing.
Yeah, because you sit there, you build up your character, and you hold on your cards, and as you level up, you can put new cards in there. And yeah, you are definitely leveling up as a character because you're choosing, am I an elf? Am I a human? Am I a wizard? Am I, all the little things, but it's a lot. I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I haven't played it enough, because 2017 Scott, the games that 2017 Scott played, and the games that 2025 Scott plays.
2025, bored all the time, Scott.
Yeah, bored all, oh boy. Yeah, would wow, that just blows my mind anyway, because that's 8 years. And so much has happened in 8 years, and so many games have come out in 8 years, and my taste level has changed in 8 years. And then, of course, now I have opinions on games now, which is wild, because I think the reason why I picked up Dragonfire was because it's Dungeons and Dragons. Of course I'm going to play it, which, of course, that's why they got my money.
I still need to play Tyrants of the Underdark. I don't know if you've got it. If you do, I need to play it.
I don't. It was one of those I did not grab. I think it's going to be one of those things like, I'm going to go pull it out of I'm going to dust it off and sit there and be like, do I have everything in here? Because like, I still find some of the packs that I have, because I haven't progressed through the story enough. Yeah. Because that's the thing. I think it's episodic. You have episodes. It has a whole storyline. I haven't gone through it enough to be like, I probably very easily could go sort of sell back out and start over.
At some point, we need to do like revisited table shelf trades, etc.
Yeah.
But this is one that I would be really interested to hear if you have gone back and played it, even if it's just in a what's been on the table segment. Yeah. I'd be very interested to hear, especially since you are now Gloomhaven, Frosthaven Scott.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because... my God, I've done so many campaign games now. Where does that fall compared to those?
Yeah.
Wide-eyed now. What's your last one?
So my last one, like I said, is a 10.
Yeah.
I love this game.
Okay.
And it is most likely leaving my collection because I can never get it played.
Oh, no.
This is a game that I actually Hall of Famed for my top 100, meaning that I recognize it on the list, but it's no longer eligible to be in the top 100.
Okay.
Because I cannot get this thing played.
Okay.
It is Brian Boru. Brian Boru,
the High King of Ireland.
I've really considered making you play this multiple times for a why did I play this? Because it is a mixture, I'm keeping on theme today, of trick taking.
Okay.
And area control.
Oh, Lord.
The problem with the game, for me, it plays 3 to 5, is that it requires me to find at least 2 other people.
Right.
And all my trick taking friends don't like area control, and all my area control friends don't like trick taking.
Oh, you did really well with that.
Yeah. So finding that very narrow band
You don't have a sliver that works that well, no.
I have one guy that loves this as much as I do. The problem is we don't have a third. And Brian Boru is just fascinating because it essentially, you have a board in front of you and you are trying to control the most cities in a region. And there's some various things going on. There's Viking raids and there's all kinds of stuff happening. But the way Brian Boru plays is it's going to play over a set of hands.
Okay.
And the first thing that's going to happen is you are going to draft your hand of cards. So you actually get to know what cards are available to be in the tricks.
Okay.
And once you have drafted, you are then going to, whoever the start player is going to pick a town on the board. And they're going to say, this is what we are playing for right now.
Okay.
And there are 4 suits. There's red, blue, and yellow. And then there's the white suit, which is trump. The cards range, if I remember correctly, 1 to 25. And it's like 21 to 25 are the white cards, something like that.
Okay.
Whoever is leading the trick, so essentially they have picked which town that we are starting, we are trying to do the area control for. They have to lead a card that matches the color of the town.
Okay.
Everybody else can choose whether or not they want to follow.
Okay.
So if you are playing to match the color or you're playing one of the white cards, then you are going to win. Otherwise, if you're playing offsuit, so if it's red, if you play yellow or blue, you are going to lose, doesn't matter the number.
Okay.
What makes the game fascinating is the cards themselves have a top banner which says, if you win the trick, this is what you get. And it's always going to be, you're going to get control of the town and you're probably going to have to pay something. There's going to be something, but that is how you win for the area control.
Okay.
If you lose the trick though, you get what is on the bottom of the card, and that's going to be resources and all kinds of other stuff. Because once you have finished a round of tricks, then you are going to go into a couple of other steps, one of which being that Vikings are going to raid a particular area on the board. And unless you have enough defense that you have generated from generally losing tricks, you may lose some of the area control that you've created on the board. It's this really fascinating balance of, okay, I want to win this trick because I want to win this town, but I also need to lose this trick so that way I get the resources so I don't lose the town. Really, really interesting game. Like I said, it's drafting, it's trick taking, it's area control. There's so many neat ideas in this box. And Per Sylvester is such a wild and crazy designer. It's gorgeous. It is this very pretty production. It's a very slim box. Again, it's like an hour long. It doesn't take a ton of time. It's so good, and I do not have the Venn diagram of people to play it with.
I will be honest, I'm intrigued. So maybe before you get rid of it, we could play it.
Okay.
If you could get that other person. But cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to us. If you'd like to get in touch with Scott and myself or any of the other theater geeks in relation to Board All the Time, you can hit us up at boardallthetimegaming@gmail.com, on Blue Sky at boardallthetime.bsky.social. You can visit us on our website, boardallthetime.com, where we have a newsletter sign up, feedback form, archive of our episodes, and links to all of our social media, including our Facebook page. You can also join us on our Discord. The server link is in the episode notes. And finally, we'd like to ask that if you enjoy our episodes, please give us the like and follow us on your platform of choice. We know you hear that a lot, but after doing this many episodes, we really do now understand how important it is to help the show grow. Regardless, thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
At this time, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Do you like shiny math rocks? I like shiny math rocks. Go to Robin's Nerd Supplies and use the code TheaterGeeks and receive 10% off your order. Links to the website is in our episode notes. Also, we'd like to thank EcoL Press, a local printing company here in the South Bend area. Happens to be a union shop, and they do everything for your gaming printing needs. And what's so nice is that they're environmentally friendly. You will also be able to check them out in our episode notes. Oh my gosh, the episode is done.
It is a long one.
It was a long one. It's going to be a long one. I feel very sorry for you to have to do all this editing. And if anyone out there that happens to be in our immediate area that would like to help us out with some editing, we would love you for it.
You don't even need to be in the media area.
That's true.
I can drop stuff in cloud drives.
Oh, that's true. But thanks for listening. We really, really appreciate it. If you do like what we're doing, make sure you contact us. Like and follow. Those are very, very important to us. Anything you want to end on?
I'm bored of you. Get out of my house.
I was going to say I'm bored of this. I was going to leave. But why are you giving me footsies? This is weird.